Lunatics, hello. The number one lunatic back here to cover what's going on, what's the latest on the Luna ecosystem. I just got back from the gym, so I'm a little bit out of breath, but we're going to get through this because, well, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I don't want to miss another second of it. First of all, let's talk about some price action. It is July 16th. Bitcoin is continuing to just kind of chill in this low to $30,000 range. The entire market is getting quite bearish. Bitcoin just bounced off some downside support potentially. You know, there's I think 90% of the market has kind of turned bear, and when shorting seems like the most obvious thing to do, not financial advice, but if big money doesn't want to go through a 2-year bear market, then maybe they're accumulating, and maybe it's for a reason. Maybe eventually we're going to see a pump, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. The RSI little uptrend that we were having since the middle of May just looks like it broke down. We continued this downside RSI pattern, so we might be, setting up for some more downside here, but whatever. The great thing about Luna is whether you're in an up market or a down market, you can always dollar cost average, and you can do it completely for free if you own Luna tokens already. So I actually made a couple of slides that I'm going to go through, and I'm going to show you what I'm doing to accumulate 5 to 12 Luna every single day. And depending on your stack, that's going to depend on how many you can accumulate. But because of my stack, I'm getting 10 free Luna. I'm dollar cost averaging for free. And Luna is one of the few, if not the only ecosystems where you can do this without being like a yield farming degen. I also want to cover the latest news on Pylon. So recently Pylon has been sharing some amazing alpha, and let's go into the Pylon Telegram group. Pylon price chat, no, Pylon group, here we go. So the Pylon group, not this one, Pylon protocol, here we go. So Woojin made an announcement. He's been teasing what he's going to do to keep the price from dumping when all of the pre-sale tokens unlock. Right now, the market cap of Pylon is sitting on a not so cool. Sitting on a just fine, like 500 million. I think 62% is staked, so maybe 400 million, but 200 million is going to be unlocked on the 26th, which is 10 days from now. So what Woojin, he's the co-founder of Pylon, what he said is he wants to make sure that things don't get dumped on the day of the unlock, because everyone that bought during the pre-sale, they bought for a penny. Right now, Pylon is about 7 cents. So in a bear market, all the people that bought this pre-sale, they think it's 7x. It's a good time to make a 7x, 5x, 6x, whatever it's going to be at the unlock rate. So they're working on basically saying, let's put some stuff into play that potentially keeps that dump from happening. And if I can find this damn thing, I will show you what it is. All right, so here's the teaser. Longer announcement on the 19th, but they're going to start their buybacks on the 26th. The community is concerned about this dumping pressure. So right now you can see that if you stake your mine, you don't get any rewards right now. But that's going to change on the 26th. That's when they start giving the rewards. And they're saying that they're storing up a lot of yield from the Pylon Gateway launch that happened in Wave 2. They're going to make that yield available to stakers on early days. And it's going to start with a really high APY That's going to add buying pressure on that day. So tokens unlock, sell pressure. Much higher than usual staking APY, buy pressure. That's one of the things they're going to do. They're also, he said, to drop a little bit more info, there will be a feature added to Pylon Gateway for at least 2 projects that are launching by the 26th. That's going to reward mine stakers with priority access, additional project tokens. And that's another reason why tokens shouldn't dump tokens, or locked token people shouldn't dump. And besides that, they're launching a new protocol or a new app on top of, in addition to Gateway, in addition to the LP, in addition to the staking. They're going to launch something in Q3, and Pylon miners are going to have exclusive access benefits to that. So that's just the tip of the iceberg, according to Woojin. He said there's more on the 19th. Let's see. Let's see what's interesting that day. Maybe it's enough to get people from dumping. Even like yesterday, the price was at 67 cents. So today it's up a bit. The whole market's up, but that's good news. In terms of how Luna's doing, here's Luna on the daily, and it's one of the few altcoins that's actually up from its like deadly lows back here. And we performed the worst, and then we recovered the best. Honestly, this is fantastic, and we've still got some room for downside and still maintain our upward trajectory. So let's just see how Bitcoin it's able to keep its shit together or not. If it does, Luna's gonna benefit a lot, in my opinion. Not financial advice. Let's see how Anchor is doing these days. Anchor's chart, the morale in the Anchor price chats are at an all-time low. This is probably one of the ugliest charts I've ever seen. It's broken just about everything. It's kind of like falling knife mode right now. Definitely needs some CPR. Whoever, Anchor's not going anywhere. It's got a ton of VC money behind it. It's like the backbone of the Terra ecosystem. There's all these dApps building on top of Anchor. And the reason why it's jumping so much, people are speculating that it's basically a farming token. Like you go into Anchor, and people have $1 billion worth of total value locked in Anchor right now. Most of that people are depositing. They're earning 500,000 people are earning 20% a year on their Anchor, and borrow is still just. Anchor's in trouble right now because people are not borrowing. People are afraid. People lost a lot of money when the market crashed. And, people are going into safe havens. Safe haven is Anchor earned. You don't take any risk. You get 20% APY. Why not? A lot of people are taking advantage of Anchor. And really, if you wanted to kind of give back to the Anchor protocol, you'd be borrowing. But every time Google fakes out to the downside, people get scared. They stop borrowing. So just on the 12th, 4 days ago, we were getting close to $200 million in borrowed capital, and it's already down to $165 million. So people are just really, really jittery. Now, what I've been doing is I have this, this bot. It's called the Anchor Repay Bot. And during the day, I'm borrowing at 39-40% APY. And then when I go to sleep, or I'm about to sleep, I switch it to 25 to 30% APY, and I just sleep peacefully. But I have the bot running 24/7 in case there's a flash crash or a black swan event or just something happens. It repays my borrow automatically. So I don't need to worry about, getting caught with my pants down in a situation like this. And the reason why I do that is because I want to earn free Luna on a daily basis. Every day at 7 a.m., I wake up and I average in to buy more Luna. So this is my Terra Station wallet. And you can see the Luna price was at 7 a.m. today. It was at $6.25. I woke up in the morning. I had a lot of borrow and liquidity rewards built up from Anchor, Mirror, and Spectrum. So I bought at $6.30 or something. I dollar cost average whatever I have on a daily basis. I put it into Luna because Luna's price is at just a ridiculous discount. If we're still in a bull market, I mean, this thing is gonna, not financial advice, but 20 was the high. All these altcoins, if it's still a bull market, like they have to break past their all-time highs, and they have to like 2x, 3x, 5x those all-time highs. Like the market needs to get irrational. And if we're sitting at price points of $4, $5, $6, $7, $8, like we have been in the past 30 days, then if you can accumulate Luna for free, why the hell wouldn't you? So this is how I do it, okay? It's got to be for free, and I can only use the Terra ecosystem to do it. So here's a couple options. I'm going to show you one option where you have only Luna, and I'm going to show you an option where you have Luna and you also have some cash sitting on the side in the form of UST, or you can get UST. So if you have Luna, here's a couple of your options, all right? Yeah, you could just stake Luna and then earn transaction fees and get some airdrops. I take 40% of my Luna and I just have it staked. And 3 days a week, I get airdrops. I get it from Anchor, I get it from Mirror, and I get it from Pylon. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm turning those Anchor and Mirror rewards into Luna. Now, I don't want to be the guy that's constantly selling my airdrops, but you know, Luna is the king in this ecosystem. I'm trying to get my average in price down because it's still really high in the teens. So I'm doing this. I think a lot of people are doing this because you saw the price action of Anchor, but I'm doing this to accumulate as much of the gold standard asset in this ecosystem as I can. Like if Bitcoin is the king of all the other altcoins and Luna is the king of all the other Luna alts. So you want to be accumulating Bitcoin when Bitcoin is down near its lows. And you want to be accumulating altcoins when Luna is doing really, really well, because my hypothesis is that tokens like Anchor and Mirror, they're going to lag Luna. Luna does really well. People are in profit. They might take some of that profit. They might stop putting their airdrops into Luna. They might start accumulating that Luna. And I mean, they might start accumulating those altcoins, and then the sell pressure reverses. It starts to turn into buy pressure. And then we get like a little cyclical thing going on. It hasn't happened yet because its ecosystem is new, but that's just my hypothesis. So that's one way to do it. I prefer getting a little bit more degen than this because of Anchor's 97.56 APR when you borrow UST using Luna as collateral. So what you could do is you can go into your Terra Station wallet. You go to swap, and then you select your Luna here. I don't have any currently, so it's not showing up. But you select your Luna, and you select B Luna here. You swap it, and then you go into Anchor Borrow, and you provide that B Luna here, and it tells you how much money you can safely borrow. So I have that bot that I use. If you Google Anchor Repay Bot, you can find it. And I borrow 35-40% loan to value. So I get a huge cash injection of UST, and it's earning 7% APY, whatever. But you also have to pay to borrow. You're really paying to borrow. This is the interest you pay, and you just get this reward for helping bootstrap the protocol. But if you take this money you earned and you just pop it into Anchor Earn, well then, you can earn more interest than what you're borrowing. So you're basically getting paid to borrow. You're getting 97% plus like another 5%. 19 minus 14 equals 5%. So you're really getting like over 100% to borrow, which is fantastic. Where else are you going to get that? Nowhere. Especially in a quality protocol like this. So that's the one I do. And every day, 7 a.m., I go in and I take the Anchor rewards from this tab. I take the Anchor rewards and I convert it into Luna. And recently, what I've been doing is I've been staking that Luna I get, but starting today, I actually converted it into B Luna, and then I move it over to Anchor, and then I use that as more collateral, and then I increase my borrow. So you don't see that number here, like you don't see me getting borrow rewards here because I have it in a different wallet because I'm using that bot. I didn't want the bot to have access to my main wallet, so that's the reason why I'm doing it that way. Okay, this is one option. The other option is a lot of people don't know about this, but you can actually go to Terra swap, and there's an option there for you to provide liquidity for Luna and B Luna. So this liquidity pair right here, if you take your Luna and you turn half of it into B Luna, you can provide liquidity on terraswap.io, and it pays you 47% APR. I did this for a little bit. For some reason, it just didn't feel like I was making enough money to justify it because they present it poorly, I feel like, in the app. But yeah, do the math. Maybe that's interesting because you're not going to get liquidated for that, and you still get a pretty high APR if it's factual. Here's the other way that you can borrow. If you have Luna and you also have UST, if you have both, then yeah, you could just stake your Luna and earn transaction fees and airdrops like we talked about. And you could take that UST and deposit it in Anchor Earn to earn 20% APY, and then periodically cash out the money you earn from the interest to buy your Luna for free. You could do that. You could also, that one doesn't really make sense in this context. Or you could do what I showed you with convert to B Luna, borrow UST, put it into Anchor Earn. You could do that. And then you could take that other UST that you have, you could deposit it into Anchor Earn, and then you could use that deposited money in Anchor Earn as collateral in Mirror. And then you're able to do this delta neutral liquidity mining with stocks. I don't want to go into the whole video, but there's a few awesome people that do a really good job of breaking it down. But I'll show you what I mean. Like in Mirror, this is how much cash I have right now. Mirror, I think I earn $15 a day in rewards doing whatever I'm doing here, which is, I don't know, what is that? It's 15 times 365. That's like $5,000. 5,000 divided by 1690. Yeah, that's like a 34% APY, I guess, for free, basically. Getting $3,000 for free, converting it into Luna. Not too bad. And the way we're doing that is if you look up delta neutral strategies on YouTube for Mirror, you'll see some videos by someone named Rabbit, so like Danku R. They show you how to do this, but you basically take like a long position in a stock and a short position in the stock. And to take a short position, you have to do something called like farming. You could take the short farm, and in order to create the short farm, you have to provide some collateral. That's kind of common for shorting. But what's cool is you can actually provide collateral from the Anchor you have deposited, not from the Anchor, from the UST you have deposited in Anchor Earn. You can actually use that as collateral. So that money continues to generate 20% in interest every year. But you can also use it as collateral. So I have, what did I show you? I showed you I had $15,000 sitting here, but a lot of this is actually AUST from Anchor. So on top of the 30% I'm making with Mirror for free, a majority of this stuff is also earning 20% on Anchor, which it's not being reflected, but once I close out all these positions, it will be reflected. How cool is that? How amazing is that? How awesome is that? And the other thing I wanted to show you is Spectrum. I've also been messing around with Spectrum Protocol, spec.finance. They just did an AMA today, actually, on the Terra podcast. And this project just popped out of nowhere. It's like the first real like degen yield farming app for Terra. I mean, just look at these numbers. You get the APY of 2600% for providing liquidity on the spec token. I did a little bit of mirror. I put in like $50 here, and I don't withdraw the rewards here daily because I haven't put in a lot of money to justify it. I got about 2K here, but the other day I put in my Google stock. I put in $2,000 worth. You get 200% APY. If I did this in Mirror, it's 30%. So I said, this is not an audited platform. The developers are anonymous. I don't want to put in too much. So I just put in something I felt comfortable with losing. 200% plus like this delta neutral thing on Mirror. I mean, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. Hopefully they don't rug pull us, Hopefully they don't rug pull us, but it's not bad. And then you can go in here periodically. You can say unstake. You can unstake all plus unlock spec. That's available to unlock. And then you can convert that mirror and that spec into Luna if you want. And that's another way to earn free Luna on a daily, weekly basis. So you see what we're getting at here. Now when the market's down and when you're not making money, you don't need to put in more money in order to dollar cost average. I hear a lot on other YouTube channels where, people buy and they bought the dip and they bought the dip and then they're out of money. They can't buy the dip anymore. And the advice for them is, well, go get a job and then buy the dip. Here, you don't have to get a job. You can use the assets you already have to keep buying the dip for free, which I don't know. You're not going to find that in too many places. That's why I really, really like the Luna ecosystem. How about some news? So what's going on with Luna? Let's look at Twitter. Recently, this Rune and Terra kind of, they have a bit of a relationship. And if we look at Do Kwon, who's the founder of Terra, and he recently mentioned some solidarity for Thorchain. It says, I believe the future is interchain. Interchain liquidity is better decentralized. This is hard stuff. There's going to be issues. And Thorchain recently got like a hack where it lost 4,000 ETH. And the price not doing so well. But I remember when Luna was down, when Luna tanked during that Black Swan event worse than anybody, and everyone was coming after Terra ecosystem because the UST went off its peg all the way down to like 90 cents. Thorchain, they came and they stood up for Luna in a tweet, and they showed that the UST was battle tested, and it stood up, and that this is not, this Black Swan event showed that this was a feature for Luna, that it can withstand these kind of Black Swan events. So I think Do Kwon is kind of returning the favor here, and it's amazing to see that kind of solidarity. And recently we also saw Terra Luna get like a massive cash injection, not a cash injection, but some big people are now investing in a Terra ecosystem fund. $150 million, backed by some of the big names in the industry. This article has gotten mentioned on like TechCrunch and a few other places. But basically, developers and teams can apply for grants from this fund. And if they're building on the Terra ecosystem, if they're working on expanding the Terra ecosystem, they may qualify to receive some money for this. Let's see what else is interesting here. Yeah, you can see CoinDesk is publishing this article. You can see, we have some really consistent like lunatic supporters here. Like Purple Frog is always tweeting about Luna. This IO person always tweeting about Luna. Consistency is king with this kind of stuff, and we get a lot of people who are just so bullish and they're thinking long term, and whenever there's a dip, they maintain their sanity. And like I showed you, Luna is really one of the only ecosystems where you can make money whether the market is up or down. Here's another one that's interesting. Just an hour ago, thank you, sirs, from Terra. They said perhaps a bit of content coming later about the secret Terra bridge, cross-chain DeFi on the move. So a lot of people are very excited about Secret's partnership with Terra so that they can actually do transactions while maintaining their privacy, which is going to be very interesting. So I think I'm getting close to wrapping up here. Really excited about what's going on with the Terra ecosystem. You know, it's not without its risks, but that's one of the reasons why the upside here is so great. Like, we still haven't proven that decentralized stablecoins, A, are going to work, and B, are going to be safe from regulation. We've seen Tether, we've seen USDC, we've seen the FUD about stablecoins. There was a tweet recently that got deleted, but you know, the guy was basically saying that Binance had to shut down their synthetic stocks thing. They recently decided to shut it down. Well, Mirror is a synthetic stock protocol, right? So is Mirror going to get the same pressure at some point? Maybe. I mean, Binance is the top dog in the space, so the regulators go after us or go after them. Mirror is a tiny dog in the space, so the regulators don't really care yet. What happens if Mirror gets big? Then it's probably maybe going to be a problem. I mean, Doe acknowledged this himself when he said, congratulations on Mirror v3 for Mirror v2 for Mirror v3. What's next? You know, they have to work on more decentralization. They have to work on more sustainability. They have to work on different front ends and access points for Mirror so that if one gets shut down, people still have access to others. But, you know, anytime anything like comes into the scope of regulation, there's some risk. And the other thing that's easy to regulate is stablecoins. So if you're not playing by the government's rules, and we're not saying that Terra isn't, I personally think whether it's centralized or decentralized stablecoins, I mean, the government can kind of have control over both of them in a way. Like if decentralized stablecoins basically mirror the price of centralized stablecoins, well, whatever you do with a centralized stablecoin, then that same impact, it's mirrored over to the decentralized one. It'll be interesting to see how like Terra and this decentralized stablecoin economy can play nice with regulators and not come under the microscope in a negative way. But I think that's going to be the future. But, you know, there's giga brains that have much bigger brains than I do, who are building this ecosystem, investing in this ecosystem, see the future in this ecosystem. So I'm going to avoid too much FUD. I'm just going to be focused on the positive, and I'm going to keep stacking this Luna. All right, guys, till next time. Cheers.